Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legion Reacts episode number 34. Now, this evening we're doing an emergency reaction to the fact that Disney CEO Bob Iger is stepping down. That is right. The CEO of Disney, who has brought us the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who has brought us the end of the Skywalker saga, who has brought us Frozen 2, all those Disney movies you love. I mean, Bob Iger has been in charge longer than I can even realize. He's stepping down. I'm I'm a Disney shareholder, and this is big news. This is huge news. I mean, dude, I can't even watch I can't even watch the winter premiere of The Rookie on ABC. Nathan Fillion, they're trying to save Lucy. I can't even grab a shower, eat dinner without this stuff breaking loose. So, I want to thank Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and Jeremy from The Quartering for breaking this news to me, because I had no idea, and I was like, what? Like going, this was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like nuclear level of oh, good Lord. I'm going to say this. Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, was not what it should be. The Force Awakens was really good. The Last Jedi left a lot to be desired. And I mean a lot. I mean a lot. Kind of like The Rock. A lot to be desired. The Rise of Skywalker tried to make up for some of it, and I think it made some decent traction. But I'm going to be quite frank. Bob Iger is responsible for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He saw vision in it. When Marvel Studios was stumbling, they were faltering to get Iron Man off the ground. Universal owned, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain, the end of Captain America, the first Avenger, Disney had already bought the company. They had already bought Marvel Studios from Paramount. So it was no longer from Paramount. It was, excuse me. The first Avengers movie was Disney. Heck, I'm even going to say probably probably partially part of Thor was Disney, and Captain America, the first Avenger, was Disney. It just wasn't until the acquisition, as we know, from Fox, from Disney buying Fox, the acquisition wasn't complete until, till the Avengers in the very first Avengers movie. So, I mean, I have to be honest. We owe Disney a lot. We owe Bob Iger a lot. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the phenomenal, the unmatched, the probably never going to be ever duplicated again Infinity Saga. This is double tough, folks. This is double tough. I'm not saying that every decision he made was phenomenal, but the Infinity Saga, that was a cinematic milestone, and it'll probably never be repeated. Remember that. And I think everybody's gonna remember that too. Everybody knows, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark, Iron Man. Everybody knows that Chris Hemsworth is Thor. Everybody knows that Chris Evans is Captain America. Everybody knows Scarlett Johansson is, everybody knows, Thanos is Josh Brolin. Like going, that's not going to change. The Infinity Saga is something that is so beautiful. I don't think it can be matched, and it never will be. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. Like going, you're entitled to your opinion, but the world highly disagrees with you. So I'm going to tell you that right now. And it's like going, well, bro, it's like going, you can't measure monetary value. Like going, yeah, you really can. When you're talking about I think right now they're upwards of like $23 billion they've made. Yeah, you can. I think the last projection was actually like more like 19 to 20 billion. I don't know. I'm rough estimating it because I haven't seen it in a while. But anyway, so thank you to Jeremy from the Quartering for breaking this story. We're going to, there you go. There's the Titanic. I love the movie Titanic. Lovely movie. I definitely get the analogy because Disney has had some rough spots. It's had some severe rough spots lately. I'm not going to sit here and say that I did not capitalize because this is the United States and we are a capitalist society. I did not capitalize a little bit on the slight woes from Disney because I know it'll bounce back, and I'll talk about that more at the end. So I mean, there's a legacy to me buying Disney stock, and it goes back to my grandfather, God rest his soul. He was a part of the Army Air Force before it was just the Air Force. So there's a reason.
Whew, well, geez, I was just trying to take my monthly shower, and I can't even get that done without major news breaking.
I hear you, bro.
Well,
seriously.
It would appear Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, is out. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, and I think there's 3 possible theories here to go over. But I do want to start out saying one thing first. Bob Iger was at the helm during some truly amazing times for Disney. And I want to thank Bob Iger for the work he put in for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, help bringing so many of my childhood heroes to the big screen and making them common household names. I want to thank you for everything you've done outside of Star Wars for families across this country. And hopefully my viewers will agree. 1 like equals 1 thank you for what you've done, Bob.
And I'm gonna second that. I know that Jeremy has like 675,000 followers. It's one reason I follow him because he breaks news that's literally what he does. I don't do that. I react to Star Wars news, to Marvel news, like Disney news. So I agree. If you're a subscriber of mine, even though we're small and we're growing, we're getting there. Please like this video. Please share this video. Please comment on this video. Go to Jeremy's page at the Quartering, like that video, to say thank you to Bob Iger, because you know what? I'm not saying the man did not have a couple of mistakes in his portfolio, but the man helmed the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's unparalleled. And you can't argue that. You can get a DCEU fan be like, oh, well, DCEU is better. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. You can think that. But the numbers don't lie. Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time. The Infinity War is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is the highest grossing franchise in cinematic history. There's nothing, not Pirates of the Caribbean, not the DCEU, that will beat it. Now, that's not a shot at the DCEU. It's not. So please don't take it that way. I loved Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot, she is one of the... She's phenomenal. We owe Bob Iger a thanks. We do. So please, show that thanks.
So hopefully there'll be a bunch of those for you too. I'm sure you'll watch this video. Now, news broke just minutes ago that Bob Iger is out effective immediately as CEO of Disney. Now, there's three main theories here. There are three main possibilities, and I'm going to list them off in order of most likely to least likely. So the most likely thing here is that Bob had been planning this for a very long time, and that this was just held, a closely held under the vest thing, and that's just the way it goes. I mean, Bob Iger isn't going to live forever. At some point, the dude probably wants to retire. I mean, he was born in 19. I'm sorry. Disney was founded in 1923. Bob Iger, of course, been there as long as I can basically remember. So maybe he's just gone. He's just done. You know, I mean, I think that's entirely possible. If I look up his age, he's currently almost 70 years old, and he's worth many millions. A net worth of close to $700 million. More money than he'll ever be able to spend. And maybe he just wants to enjoy the final years of his life and not literally work until the day he dies.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
So certainly very possible. A second theory is Bob Iger saw the ship was sinking. And I'm going to show you some evidence of that. I mean, we know now basically the major MCU phases are over. I don't think phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, whatever other phase you want to go down the line with Disney, I don't believe it will ever be as big as phase 3. Disney enjoyed a long period of just being able to print money, and with the end of Avengers Endgame, I just don't see them rebuilding that ever again, especially when I'm seeing movies like The Eternals getting put out.
I'm going to agree with that. That's what I said. Like on the Infinity Saga is, and I'm going to include the Black Widow movie in this because the Black Widow movie takes place between Civil War and Infinity War. So like on that, to me, is a part of the Infinity Saga. And kind of in my opinion, Spider-Man Far From Home is not a part of the Infinity Saga. If you really want to if you really want to get, brass tacks about it. But Black Widow, I think, is going to do very well. I think the Black Widow movie with Scarlett Johansson, who she's the highest paid actress in Hollywood, which we all love. I don't know anybody who's ever said like, oh no, Scarlett Johansson sucks. Like going, I've never heard anybody say that. She has earned that. Like going, absolutely, without question. Like she is a gem in Hollywood. You know why? Because she makes phenomenal movies. She makes phenomenal movies. I think that the Black Widow movie has the potential to make $1 billion. I really do. I have reservations about the movies following, about the Eternals, about Shang-Chi, about Doctor Strange, because we know him. I think has the potential to do pretty well. I'll say very well, not phenomenal. Phenomenal will be like $1 billion, but I'll say very well. It's like maybe 800 million because people are going to want to see the multiverse of madness, and I think that's where they're going to get the resurgence. Because all of a sudden, in the multiverse of madness, where you're opening up this giant possibility of so many characters, you're gonna get the X-Men. You're gonna get Black Widow and Captain America back. You're gonna get possibly Tony Stark back. Maybe maybe it'll be AI Tony Stark. Kind of like Jarvis was. I think you might get Vision back. Like there's gonna be a lot of things that are really gonna open up those possibilities. But I think other than Black Widow, the movies in between Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness are going to stumble. And I'm going to say Disney stumble. MCU stumble is in like they're only going to make like 400 or 500 million, which is not bad. But if you load the cast and you load the setup like you're going to have some issues. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. We're going to watch.
And I don't have a lot of faith in Doctor Strange being able to hold up. Then we can look at late in November, Bob Iger did have to admit that Galaxy's Edge was a failure, or early on a failure, and overall attendance had been down. So in the last 3 or 4 months, Bob Iger sees attendance tanking at the park. He sees Galaxy's Edge didn't go very well. They see that they basically bungled the Star Wars franchise. Who would have thought that anybody could not make money with a Star Wars movie, but Disney found a way with Solo, a Star Wars story. So Bob Iger talks about, the attendance is down, the movies are down. He's looking down the road. He's like, who do we got? Who do we have left? Maybe I'm going to jump ship. It's entirely possible that he just sprung this on him and was like, I'm out. Now, here's another thing that leads me to believe that people didn't know that this was happening, because look what happened to the stock today. After he announced it, it plummeted. If I go to the 1 day, look at this. It's still dropping, and the market's not yet closed, or it's very close. I mean, if we go to 6 months, you can see Disney had enjoyed a long period of growth in November, December, January, February, and then bam, it completely craters to an all-time 6-month, looks like a 6-month low. If I go 1 year, not quite a 1 year low, but a 6-month low. If people inside of Wall Street, by the way, one thing lending itself to maybe people didn't know about this is Wall Street's reaction to it, because normally Wall Street knows. And when some big figurehead steps down, it seems like they've all been tipped off and things don't happen as drastically. But that's not what we're seeing with Disney stock. Also, the language of it being effective immediately is strange too. Now, I will admit, of course, that when you're the CEO of Disney, you're basically you're not following any rules in terms of leaving your job or finding a new job. Even any large company, when you're the CEO and you quit, it's a huge process. A lot of times CEOs quit years in advance. There's a whole succession plan that may happen, may or may not have happened behind the scenes, right? Maybe he really quit 3 years ago and it's just effective immediately. But I'm surprised they wouldn't have announced that, because when we're looking at the announcements and some of the things that Bob Iger has done, at no point did they say, hey, this has been, planned for a long time. Bob Iger will step down as CEO and assume the role of executive chairman, Disney announced Tuesday. Bob Chapek, who recently served as chairman of the Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products, will assume the role of CEO effective immediately, Disney announced. Shares of Disney fell 2.5% after hours. Iger...
And I want to comment on that. I've talked about this a couple times before since I'm a Disney shareholder. There's a shareholders meeting coming up in March, and there are things that we've had to vote on. And to be quite frank, now a certain amount of it makes sense. I'm not going to tell details because, that's my business. If you're a Disney shareholder, I think you understand that's your business. If you're not a Disney shareholder, I'm not going to give you the dirt. Sorry, that's my finances. It's not yours. And I've worked hard for that. So I'm going to say that things definitely make a lot of sense, because I kind of looked at one of the votes and I went, I'm like, that's different. I'm like, that, okay. And it had to do with with Bob Iger, and it didn't have to do with the CEO position. It had to do with something else, and it just didn't make sense. And now it kind of does.
Will remain the executive chairman of Disney through the end of 2021. According to the company, he has been instrumental in making Disney a media powerhouse with key acquisitions and content plays. He launched Disney Plus, immediately making Disney a popular streaming service provider. Disney had said the service had 26.5 million paying subscribers during the first quarter of 2020. Iger has beefed up Disney's already strong content library with several important acquisitions. Most recently, he ushered in Disney's $71 billion acquisition of Fox Entertainment, which would add even more content to its streaming library. Earlier, he added more Star Wars and Marvel movies, though its acquisition through its acquisition of Lucasfilm and Marvel Entertainment, each for about $4 billion. Shortly into his tenure as CEO, Iger announced Disney's $7.4 billion acquisition of Pixar Animation Studios, which made popular films like Toy Story and Finding Nemo before becoming a part of Disney. Iger also launched a theme park in Shanghai, furthering Disney's footprint across the globe, gaining 11 million visitors in the first year. With Disney's successful launch of Disney's direct-to-consumer business and the integration of 21st Century Fox well underway, I believe this is the optimal time to transition to a new CEO, Iger said in a statement. Now, they say Iger had been planning a succession for a while, saying at Disney's Investors Day last year that 2021 will be the time for me to finally step down. Iger has been the CEO since 2005. He's pushed back his retirement several times in recent years, and Tuesday's succession announcement came as a surprise. See, that's the thing. Why was it a surprise? If everybody seemed to know that this was going to happen, why did the market crash? Why did
hold on.
Especially if he
pause it. Yeah, we're not gonna watch an ad. It's the only thing about this is so obnoxious. So obnoxious. All right, we're back. We're skipping the ads because his channel is monetized. Mine is not. And take it away, Jeremy from the Corden.
especially if he had announced it a year ago. Now, of course, he's not going to work there and until he's 100 years old. So, of course, he was going to quit at some point. But what does this mean going forward? Well, the market's reaction to his replacement should tell you a lot. Seeing as though it went down significantly, there doesn't seem to be a ton of confidence in who's taking over. There seems to be more questions than answers. Take that into account with dwindling theme park numbers, a struggling Galaxy's Edge, and a struggling franchise in Star Wars that you just paid $4 billion for. There's a lot to be questioned in the long-term future of Disney. We can even look at the most recent release of Call of the Wild. Looks like that's completely tanking at the box office too. So Disney has been really sporadic. They've had bizarre hits like Lion King, but then they've had movies like Solo and Call of the Wild, which are going to lose money, and you don't really know what's going to happen with the theme park. Sure, they made total profits increased, which I guess at the end of the day is important, but total attendance decreased, which meant that you were just extracting more money from the fewer people that were there. You could see CNN covering it saying, Bob Iger has stepped down as CEO, Wall Street effective immediately. Bob Chapek is the new CEO. The board of directors announced Tuesday he most recently served as chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. Iger had assumed the role of executive chairman, which we know. Quote, I'm incredibly honored and humbled to assume the role of CEO of what I truly believe is the greatest company in the world. Chapek said. Sorry, not Chapek, probably Chapek said in a statement. Bob Iger has built Disney into the most admired and successful media and entertainment company, and I have been lucky to enjoy a front row seat as a member of his leadership team. Iger succeeded CEO Michael Eisner back in 2005. During his tenure, Iger oversaw the acquisition of Marvel Studios, Pixar, and Lucasfilm, all of which produced films that shatter box office records. Under his leadership, 21st Century Fox came into Disney's fold, resulting in a new roster of IPs for nearly the 100-year-old company. Now, I don't know about, these certainly do seem like puff pieces, but at the end of the day, Bob Iger did a ton of good. I will always remember when he came to the defense of Captain Marvel. The Kree may have supreme intelligence, the Walt Disney has Bob Iger. He is the CEO and chairman of the Mouse House, constantly expanding entertainment empire. His approval means a lot. And just like supreme intelligence, you don't want to let him down. Fortunately, Carol Danvers did not disappoint, and Bob Iger took to social media to say how proud he and Disney were of Captain Marvel. Quote, the audience speaks. Captain Marvel is a film we are very proud of. Congratulations, Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson and the Marvel Studios team. Now on to the Avengers. I thought it was interesting because not a lot of CEOs have to go out there and announce their support for things, but it'll be interesting to see. Now, what does it all mean? Is there a bigger theory behind the scenes? Maybe. Does it mean Kathleen Kennedy is next. I mean, if we're going to look at things that are trending downwards, certainly of everything that Disney has out there, Star Wars is the one that's probably the most questionable. Yeah, you have a built-in audience, but where are you going to go from here? I think largely as investors saw it, as the CEO probably saw it, the Star Wars trilogy was a disaster. They do have bright spots like The Mandalorian, but who do you blame for that? Well, the blame's got to come down on Kathleen Kennedy's head. Will the new owner, the new CEO of Disney, be as patient with Kathleen Kennedy? Or maybe they don't care. Maybe Feige's just running it all, and that's for him to decide. It's going to be interesting to see if any major changes happen at Disney over the next 3-4 months. But I'll be interested to hear what your comments, theories, and thoughts are in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right, and we're not going to watch that. All right, so the bottom line is that this is breaking news. Bob Iger is to step down. The reason that Disney is so important to me in actually owning a piece of that is because my grandfather, God rest his soul, had the opportunity to invest $5,000 way back when in Disneyland with, I mean, I think we all know who. So it's, to be able to invest with Walt Disney in Disneyland, and it was just, it was a big gamble. It was a huge gamble. The projections were not good. Disneyland struggled, and then all of a sudden, I believe it was after they got Pirates. I think it was after they got Pirates of the Caribbean that they started turning a profit. And the original Pirates of the Caribbean ride, they started turning a profit. The thing is, though, is that had my grandfather taken that risk, which I'm not upset about, I'm not. Had he taken that risk, my family would be worth millions upon millions upon millions. I would have lived a very different life. And quite frankly, I'm not upset about that. I actually love the life that I've lived. I'm so thankful that I grew up in Colorado. I'm so thankful that I joined the military. I'm so thankful that I was U.S. Army Military Police. My life would have been probably very different, and I don't think I like that. I think I really have enjoyed the life that I've lived. It's been different, and it's had its problems, and there have always been finances in some of those problems, but I'm very thankful. Because I'm walking a very different road now. I own stock in Disney. I just put in this evening to buy more stock in Disney because, yes, the market took because the stock took a dive. Disney's not going to stay on bottom, forever. They're not going to. So, it's kind of like a legacy for me. It's my grandfather didn't get a chance to do it, but or he decided not to do it, whatever the reason may be, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for my kids. I'm going to do it for my grandkids. I'm going to do it for my great grandkids. That's what I'm going to do. So take that how you will. I want to say thank you so much to Bob Iger for everything he's done. I really do. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is my favorite franchise on this planet by far. It's something that has kept the world on the edge of its seat. Infinity War, Endgame, it's beautiful. The Infinity Saga is beautiful. So anyway, this video is running long again. So I want to say thank you. We're going to end this video. Thank you everybody for checking out this video. It's Bob Iger stepping down, but we thank him for everything he's done. That's the moral of the story. Y'all have a phenomenal evening. You guys have a phenomenal week. And we'll definitely talk to you guys next time. Y'all be safe. And as always, I appreciate y'all. All right. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't be afraid to leave a comment. All right. See ya.